Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies, strengthening your business while offering your talent to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hello. We are so excited today. Welcome to our Giver Marketing. Goodness, it's Tuesday again, Tuesday marketing broadcast. And I'm excited. I've got Joel Thiessen with me. Ooh, let the fun
I am
begin.
so excited. Sometimes I'm the one doing the tech for these, so it's fun to jump up and be like, here I am.
You get to be on the front side of this. This is awesome. We want to say hello, shout out to Kingdom Warriors, Prepared Agency. We've got so many friends out there, and we're broadcasting to Selling with Dignity. Oh, yes, I can. I mean, there's so many places we're broadcasting, and I love it. We're having so much fun today. But today, Joel is going to talk to us about his superpowers.
Yes. Today I have been pumped. I've been building this for 3 months now, 4 months. Getting ready for this and putting everything together. And I'm really excited because we're going to talk today about appointment setting, which is something that we've just kind of fell into. And I'm really excited to kind of show people kind of a good strategy to actually making this work.
All right. But you didn't just start off with appointment setting. How did you get into this world?
Okay, so we started off with customer service. So I was hired at a company as a customer service manager. And in my first year, I saved them $200,000 on it, which was really, really good. I learned a lot. I made a lot of mistakes. But my goal in this was really to try and help businesses succeed. And a lot of times with customer service, people are doing what they think is good customer service and trying to be efficient. And in their efforts to be efficient, they're actually losing their customers. And so what we started doing is counterintuitive customer service, which basically what I mean by that is right now, because everyone's trying to focus on efficiency, it's counterintuitive to sit there and go spend 20 minutes on the phone with your client, where they're like, no, we can do this call in 3 to 7 minutes. I'm like, no, spend 20 minutes on the phone with them, create a connection with them so they actually want to come back and do business with you. And it's like, who ever thought of customer service that actually wants to serve a customer and connect with them? And so that's kind of how it started.
Right. And we see a shift, right? There's the mentality of back when we built relationships, and then it moved to this high tech, you're stuck on a chat tree and a phone tree. And remember sitting there on the phone going, operator, representative, I want to talk to a real person, right?
We're sitting there going 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah. And we've gone so far on the techie side now that we're losing those relationships, right? Yeah. And so now we want to go back the other way. Let's find that middle ground somewhere and get back to real relationships.
I have some great friends that work in AI, and we each actually have used some AI services in our bundles that we built for customer service and for stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is you can't completely rely on AI. You have to have the AI people blend. Because if it's just AI, you're going to get 90% of your customers getting frustrated and angry. We tested this AI appointment setter, and the appointment setter refused to say no. So we were testing it, and we were like, okay, we were pretending we were an engineering company. We trained this AI on engineering, and we were saying, well, what if we want an architecture project? And they're like, great, we could set you up for that. And we're like, This person is actually a product developing engineer, not an architect engineer, like two different things. And so we were like, okay, so it's not quite ready yet. This whole system isn't quite ready yet. But there, if you kind of mix what is good with people and you put them together, you actually get this great working together. And when you can when computers and people are working together properly, it's seamless, and it's very connecting, and you actually end up having a great conversation with someone. I really like, to me, it's about those relationships. And so even with appointment setting, with this appointment setting 2.0, that I'm the strategy I'm going to be sharing today, it's about the relationship. And it starts where they actually already know who you are, but it's about building that relationship and building the value so that people want to spend time with you.
Well,
Like,
and your whole focus with your experience with the customer service side of it, people think about, oh, there's a customer service department. But no, that's not the only place where the customers are interacting with your employees, right?
yeah,
Customer service is throughout, right? So whether it's the appointment setting side, right, it's the whole journey of
yeah,
the client experience is full of customer service,
yeah.
right?
And,
So
and just because we started with customer service and then we became more of a customer experience as we started going to the customer fulfillment for e-com businesses, and we started kind of doing that because we had experience with that. And it was, honestly, we started it because it was a separate revenue stream, and we're like, we just need to diversify at the moment. But what it became is, it became, now we're able to do customer service for a bunch of these companies as well, even though it's just a little bit here and a little bit there. But we're actually being able to build their customer base right from great products being sent out. And all of it is about that, and making sure that relationship is strong between you and your clients.
well, so I'm excited because I know you're going to have little tidbits of customer service throughout the whole thing because it touches everything. But
Yeah.
today we're going to focus on the appointment side of it. So are you ready to dive in?
Let's dive in, because
All
this is
right,
going to
let's
be
do it.
all right. So you're gonna have to. I'm gonna just apologize right up front, because I might skip forward accidentally in how I'm doing this, because I'm not doing this with notes. I'm doing this from my experience. So if I accidentally say something, I might go into a future slide and be like, I already said that. So we started doing the appointment 2.0 strategy, and we called it this because this isn't appointment setting like you've seen before. All right. It's a mix between tech and people, like I've been talking about already. We did an appointment setting gig, probably, 4 or 5 months ago, and it cost a lot of money, and we got maybe 1%. They gave us about 1,000 people to call, and we made appointments for maybe 1%, which for regular cold calling is about the average, 1 to 2%. If you get a really good appointment setter, you might get three if they're really good. But then you're paying someone probably 4 to 6 grand a month just to do it, because they know what a good appointment setter is worth. And so what we ended up doing with the person was, we ended up actually, after like 20 days of the 1 month, I went to them, I was like, look, we can continue doing this for the full price, but we're not getting the results that either one of us wanted. So we ended up refunding them, and I started a search for a new way to do appointment setting. And so that search, that 5 month search, the probably 2 or 3 month search, resulted in this new appointment 2.0 strategy, appointment setting 2.0 strategy.
Well,
All
and
right.
that's an important distinction that you bring up is a lot of times business owners have an idea that, oh, I'll just get an appointment setter and I'll have appointments and we'll just do cold calls, right? That seems to be like an instinct, like cold calls are no problem. We'll get lots of appointments that way. And they're like,
Yeah. Chances are, so cold calling can cost upwards of 2,750 plus for cold calling, and that's an okay appointment setter. So it's expensive to do cold calling, and you'll get 10 appointments, and 8 of them are going to sit there and go, okay, why am I here? And the other 2 aren't even going to be the people you want to talk to, because cold calling, there's gatekeepers. People want to actually be there, but CEOs don't want to get drug into an appointment to get sold. And so they've got receptionists that sit there and go, okay, is this a good thing, or is this not a good thing for our CEO? And so appointment setting 2.0 is a strategy that will actually hedge against that. And so that is one of the main things that I wanted to kind of find a solution for. Anyways, so let's dive into appointment setting 2.0.
Sounds good.
All right. Oh, so like I said, this is the strategy. Basically, I already said this. When you're doing the original appointment setting, you're spending 2750, and that doesn't include phone systems, scripting experts, or lead gen, and you don't get the results you want. We already went through that. I guess I should have just started with this slide. So the strategy has four main components. The first one is scripting. I spent 10 years in the film and entertainment industry. Scripting is everything. We've all seen movies, and I'm going to use movies as an example, but we've all seen movies that we sit there and go, how did that get greenlit? Like, why did that get made? I could have made a better movie with my 5-year-old. Like, we've all seen that. And your scripting is the same way for your business, right? You can sit there and go, I can create, there's this term, one of my friends, Garrett, always uses called pitch slappers. And it's like they come in and all of a sudden it's like, you want appointment setting, we're gonna give you appointment setting. And it's like, well, actually I don't want that. I want connection first. And so what we do is we create scripts to help you create connection before you ever get on the phone with them. All right.
And we'll go into more detail of what that looks like, right?
Yeah. And we're gonna I'm
There's
trying to
more.
give a brief overview, but it's like it's all right there, right? So
And after that, after the scripts, we're going to talk about create lead gen strategy. So we've got to put some strategy behind this. That makes
yeah.
sense.
So it's not cold calling. I'm gonna show you a strategy, and I'm actually going to show you I'm not going to show you an app, but I'm going to tell you about an app that we use for this specific strategy.
Okay.
All right. And then in talking about what to look for in a great appointment setter, because not all great appointment setters are American. A lot of people are like, well, I want an American appointment setter. And it's like, great, we can help you find that, but you're going to probably spend twice up, maybe three times as much for a great appointment setter in the US, or even in the US, a poor appointment setter in the US, and you're still going to spend twice as much as if you get a great appointment setter elsewhere. And so I'm going to kind of tell you what to look for in it, and I'm going to focus on looking outside of the US. However, the same concepts will be the same inside the US. And then lastly, it's coaching or continuously making adjustments. And this is something we just need to do everywhere. Like we don't get, I think I had this boss once and he told me that the number one marketing rule is A/B testing. And so
Right.
when you're continuously making adjustments, it's literally A/B testing, and you get to invite your appointment setter. And this is why you need a great appointment setter. You need to invite your appointment setter into the A/B testing process, because not everything that works for one appointment center is going to work for the other. They're different people with different personalities and different hearts. And because of that, you need them to approach people differently. All right.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
Let's jump in here. All right. So successful script essentials. There's 4 things that you're going to need for a script. You're going to need a story. You're going to need to qualify the lead. You need an irresistible offer and a call to action. Now let's dive into this just a bit. Your script needs to always tell a story. There's a reason why it's called a script when you're making a movie, and it's called a script when you're doing an appointment setter. And it's not just because these are the words our people need to say. The story needs to tell the story about a hero. And the hero is not the business. So if I'm going to create a script for Legacy, Legacy is not the hero. Christine, you are the hero, because you're my client that I want. Everyone wants to be the hero. No one wants to be the supporting character. So Christine, you are the hero of the story. I am simply in every gold rush, it wasn't the miners that made the money. It was the people who supplied the miners with pickaxes, shovels, and buckets that made the money. And so what I'm trying to set our clients up as is, every time I'm building a script, I'm setting them up as a supporting character supplying buckets, pickaxes, and shovels.
For the story, which is the person they're trying to set the appointment with, right?
Exactly.
So we're going to help you be amazing and be a hero.
Exactly. And so if you miss that part, you're going to lose a lot of possible appointments. Secondly, we need to qualify the lead. We need to make sure they're actually a good fit for what you're giving. So in our case, not everybody who wants customer service is a good fit for me. In fact, there's a lot of them that aren't. What the people who are a good fit for us is people who actually want to create connection with their clients. And so I'm going to sit there and we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to qualify the lead as they're on the phone, and I'm going to be like, okay, do you actually fit with our core values, or are you better fit for actually someone that I can connect you with later?
Right. So
Because
when you're doing the appointment setting, you're not directly asking, hi, do you match our core values? That's not how you do it, right?
no, you're having a conversation, and in that conversation, you will see, like, I had a meeting once with a company. Oh, they were a bacon jam company. And it was really interesting concept, and we had this meeting, and we were just talking at the end of the meeting. Like, we had a half hour designated, we'd done everything in like 20 minutes, and we were just having a conversation. And we were like, okay, so tell me, because they had mentioned that they were a vegan bacon company. And so we were like, okay, so tell us, are you a bacon company or a vegan company? And they're like, oh, well, all of our bacon eats plants. All of our pigs eat plants, so we are a vegan company because our pigs are vegan. And I'm like, I don't think the concept, you haven't figured this concept out yet. And so we ended up just being like, this isn't a good fit because there's deception going on already right from the beginning, where it's like he's deceiving his clients, and because he's lying, we don't want to actually have be running that business. And
Right.
we
So
actually
when
did.
you apply that to the whole process of setting appointments, right? So while you're talking to this person you're trying to make the appointment with, you got to make sure that their values are lining up. So you're going to have a few questions in there, right?
Exactly. You've got some questions. You want to know just as much about their business as they want to know about you. But the questions that you're asking is, and all this comes out in conversation. When you're asking questions, you learn stuff. But when you're having conversations, you catch what people's hearts are, and you want to meet with people who are matching your heart. Second, you want an irresistible offer. Part of this is creating a value right on the call. Okay. So a lot of what we do is when we're creating the script, Christine, we're billing you as the expert in this area. And so as we're talking, having this, like, one of our clients is an engineer, and we're talking about when we're having a business call, when we're doing appointment setting, sorry, with him, we're talking about him. He's our chief engineer. He's the number one engineer in Houston, and he wants to give you 30 minutes of his, or 15 minutes of his time, I think is him. He wants to give you 15 minutes of his time for a complimentary design review. And so what it does is it adds value right away. These are his credentials. He's our chief engineer, and he wants to look at your design so that you're not spending money on something that isn't going to work. And so you're creating that value proposition right away. And that way, the call to action is super simple for two reasons. The first is, once you've created the value, then you're actually, they want to book the appointment, and it's not a sell anymore. They want to book that appointment. And so when they create it, they are looking forward to the meeting, which means your meeting attendance is going to skyrocket.
Mhm.
And that's the important part of this.
Right. And the call to action is, let's book the appointment, right? I mean,
Action is, let's book you this appointment so you can have 15 minutes to talk. And then you, as the expert in your area, as your marketing networking expert, people are going to want to join the call. And then now it's up to you to bring the value that we promised.
and now you got to deliver.
Now you have to deliver, but we've set you up for success.
All right, now, Joel, we've got a lot of steps here. All right, run it through. All right, do a role play with this here. Okay, so you're going to call me right now. Are you ready?
Absolutely. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Christine. My name is Joel from Legacy Innovative, and I'm just calling because you expressed interest in Legacy Innovative, and I wanted to know if you were interested. If I'm sorry, see, I didn't even have a script ready, but I just wanted to know if you had a few minutes to talk.
Sure, absolutely.
Great, great. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your business.
Oh my goodness. I love my business. I work with mission driven people and causes that are doing good in the world and help them with their marketing so they can get more visibility.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And how is it, and how do you find your clients?
Oh goodness. A lot of it's referral based, but I don't really have a firm, way to get clients. I'm open to suggestions though.
Perfect. Well, we have I would love to book an appointment with you with Joel. What he does is he's an expert in trying to. Sorry, he's an expert in bringing out leads and actually matching them to you. And so what he does is he has a strategy to help create warm leads in order to actually book appointments for you to give you an opportunity to sell. Is
Oh
that
wow.
something you'd be interested in?
Yeah. Why don't we have a conversation about that? I like that. That I
Great.
think.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to book you a 15-minute consultation with Joel,
Okay.
and then he will walk you through what you're already doing. He'll take a look at what you're already doing, and then he's going to show you a few strategies that you could possibly implement right away in order to help increase the viability of your leads. And then from there, you can decide if you want to work with him or if you want to just take the information and go do it yourself.
Okay. I think, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Great. All right, let's book an appointment. And then you go into, I've got time on Tuesday at 11 o'clock, and we'll do it online. No.
There we go.
And so that's kind of what it looks like. And once you've got a script in place, there's a lot less ahs because you know what you're
That's because I totally threw it at you the last second.
yeah, and I'm like, and I had to quickly figure out, what am I talking about here? Like, I had to quickly,
Great
like, am
job.
I going to do appointment setting or am I going to do networking or customer service? And I just picked one and had to run. But
That's right.
but the point of this is Joel was built as an expert right from the get go, and
Mhm.
when you knew your pain point. Sometimes, um, in some cases, and I'll show you where the leads come from in a couple slides, because I'm going to walk you through that. But in some cases, this is the this is the point where people need the most help, is having someone personable on the phone with a great script. All right, let's go to the next step, because there's a lot here, and I just want to make sure that I'm going through. If anyone wants these slides, I'm happy to give them away for free, especially in the Giver Marketing Network. I will give them to anyone in the Giver Marketing Network, and it will just kind of walk you through the strategy. It's just a really great way to do it.
Well, so I just dropped your link for LinkedIn. So if anybody wants to connect with you on LinkedIn, that's a great way to reach out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So next we're going to talk about lead generation, and this is one of my favorite parts, because this is where the struggle with the original appointment setting, and this is what I found to create the whole strategy we're talking about here. Um, Now the first one here is driving traffic. So this is a prerequisite to the strategy, is that you need to have some traffic on your website, and not everybody does. And
Mhm.
so what we do is we have some great SEO experts that work with us. I just want to do a shout out to Nate from the Giver Marketing Network. He does great SEO work. And so what he does is he's done, in some cases, I think he's brought like 3,000% increase to people coming to websites. Now, I'm not an SEO expert. Like, I can talk about it, and you may even think that I'm good at what I'm talking about, but Nate actually has the real life experience, and I'm a big fan of not peddling something that I've never actually done.
Right. And that's okay. A lot of people are in that position where, okay, I've got a website. SEO, what's that? Right. People assume it's like a billboard. I built it. They will come. It's the field of dreams. No, just because you built a website doesn't mean anybody's going to actually visit it. You have to drive traffic to it. SEO is
Absolutely.
one of those ways.
And that's something that's really that's a prerequisite to this strategy. And so that's why we work with people like Nate, and Timothy and you, just because we want to sit there and go, okay, I'm not going to take a client if they're not ready for me yet. All right.
Mhm.
The second is the data collection. Now, I put the name of the app that we use on the screen here, because I think it's just a great strategy, and I think the app is fantastic. But what it is it's an app called Outsell Insights, and this is what we use in order to collect data. All right, I'm going to walk you through how this app works. Um, all right, so this app, what it does is it takes, this is my iPhone here, but what it does is every iPhone or computer has a device ID. Okay.
Mhm.
And what this app does is it collects device IDs, and it does not use cookies, but it collects the device ID and then goes to a data center. And then on the data center, they've got data from places like Facebook and Wall Street Journal and LinkedIn and or whatever data center it is that they're using at the time. And it will come back with name, address, phone number, email address on probably about 20% of the traffic going to your website. Okay. And
All right, we're going to pause right there for a second. Let people unpack that and see what that means. Okay. So when you think about it, right? So you've already, I'm like, how do they have that? Well, they're constantly pulling that information, right? All these different sites that we go to, right? It's
yeah.
grabbing that information. So it makes sense that somebody has put it all together into a database. So now they can go look that up, right?
So
We've
when
all done something, right? Where they've collected our information.
when you see the Wall Street Journal offering, I think right now, because I see it all over, because I've been telling people about this, so now I get the Wall Street Journal ads on my everywhere. But when you see the Wall Street Journal offering 3 months for $1 to send you the Wall Street Journal to your house, you have to realize that the product here is not the Wall Street Journal. The product is you. And so what they're doing is they're now capturing your data and selling your data to people like Outsell Insights so that they can get good leads. Now, that data on itself is not the important part. It is important to collect the leads, phone number and stuff like that, but that data is not the important part. The important part is that you also see how long they've been on what page of the website. And the reason that's important is because people give certain buying signals. When I was working at Foot Locker, and I was just starting out learning sales at Foot Locker, I would wait for people to do something specific. Now they would come in and we would say hi. I would ask them if they need anything. They would say no, we're good. And I would go back and I would just keep an eye on them. And the minute they picked a shoe up, that's a buying sign. They're interested in that shoe. And so I would then go up and be like, hey, do you want to try it on? Oh, I don't have the money for it. No, do you know what? What's your shoe size? I'll just go get it. You can try it on. You don't need to buy it. Great. Okay, let's try it on. Run to the back, get the shoe. Next thing you know, they're buying a $130 pair of shoes when they just came in to look. All right. And what this is doing is it's actually taking your website with the same concept. They're coming into your website and they're looking at your homepage for 2 seconds and then they leave. Well, that's not really the person that we want to actually contact. And so we're not going to waste our time contacting them. What we're going to do is we're going to wait for them to click on the link, book an appointment, or get started or whatever. And then we're going to count and see how long they're on that page. Are they on the page for 10 minutes or 30 seconds or 2 seconds? And then once they've given us buying signs, then we call them up. And so we call them up generally within 24 hours. The reason being is in 48 hours, they're going to be like, okay, I don't even remember the website I was on. And so what we do is we call them up within 24 hours and we book an appointment right then and there. And because all we're doing is saying, hey, if you're interested, we want to give you a free 15-minute consultation with Christine. And at that point, they already know who you are. So they're warm leads. And it
Right,
becomes,
because they've already been to your website, they've
yeah.
shown interest, they've clicked on something, they've read something, they've interacted in some way. Now it makes sense that you would follow up with them. Now they're not cold anymore.
Now they're warm leads. They're not hot leads. So if you go to Thumbtack, they're hot leads. And they're going to be like 90% of the time, they're going to be like, yeah, I want a free design review or whatever. But if you're doing this, you're going to see, because these are warm leads, it's going to up drastically from cold leads, but it's not quite a hot lead. So you're going to actually be dropping a lot from the statistics on hot leads. And I know that's a lot of information. And so did you have any questions, Christine?
Right. So kind of thinking about the process, right? So cold, you don't know them at all. Warm, they've interacted with you on some level, right?
Yeah.
Hot lead is, oh, I know I want this and I'm in, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is now you've got this warm lead. What is your irresistible offer that you need to offer to get them to become a hot lead?
Yeah. And
so they're excited about talking to you.
Exactly. And that's where then the third step comes in, which is passing the data to the appointment setter so that they can give that irresistible offer
That we wrote in the script to start with.
And so the reason why I put scripting before lead generation is because you don't want lead generation until you have a script. That's just the way it is. If you get lead generation before a script, you are going to create a script, but it's not going to tell the same story that you want to tell. All right. So number 6. So let's talk about the different the sorry, let's talk about the qualities that you need in an appointment setter. All right. Now there's 4 main things I brought up here: intuitive, understandable, conversational, and charming. All right. Now, the reason why I say a lot of times I will recommend a customer service agent. Oh, excuse me. I'll recommend a customer service agent over an appointment setter with this strategy, because an appointment setter is going to push, and they're going to push to get the appointment. That's what they're trained to do. Whereas a person with a customer service background is going to serve, and that's what they're trained to do, is to serve and make sure that they're making the customer happy. All right. That's not something appointment setters are taught. All right. And
Yeah,
so,
mark that, right? Write that down. When you think about it, right? What's the goal? And then how are they going to get there?
yeah,
And like you said, the appointment setter mindset versus the customer service mindset, right? Oh, I
yeah.
like this.
And it's very important, because if you're going cold calling, you need an appointment setter, because they need to push to get those appointments. However, they're going to be low quality appointments, and they might not even show up. All right. The reason why customer service is important is it's bringing the values of your company forward right from the get-go. It's saying, hey, we care about you. We want to connect with you. I want to laugh with you. If I can get an appointment setter that can make you laugh and can joke around with you, that is the important part, because then they've created connection, and they're like, if this is what their appointment setter is like, I cannot wait to meet their expert, because he's got all of the knowledge as well as. And customer service people are generally the kind of people who are going to be like, do you know what? I don't know the answer to that. Either let's book an appointment with you so you can ask the person who does know the answer to your question, or let me find out and give you a call back. And that's something customer service people generally do. Versus appointment setters are like, I'm going to figure this out while I'm on the phone with you, and I'm going to give you something that's probably right. And that's not the best way to do things. All right. The
Yeah, it's not
second,
about building the relationship. I
yeah,
get it. And since they've already been to your website, they've already seen things that have to do with your brand, you're already establishing that rapport and that brand that you're keeping consistent.
exactly, exactly. So, and now I go to understandable. Now, if they're American, or North American, you generally won't have to deal with people who are not understandable. Unless, of course, you go to somewhere like Nova Scotia in Canada, or New Orleans, that they start talking with a huge accent. Um, but generally, we can all understand people from Brooklyn or New York, even though they've got heavy accents. We still understand them, um, because they're from our country. But if you're going for somewhere like India or Philippines or etc., you want to make sure they're understandable, because if your leads can't understand you, they're not going to book an appointment with you. All right.
Yeah.
The next one is conversational. You want someone who can not only hold a conversation, but has a little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of sass, a little bit of Ryan Reynolds in them. And the reason why we ask for that, now, not everyone does, and well, no, in my opinion, everyone has a little Ryan Reynolds in them, but it's in varying degrees. Okay, like, I have enough Ryan Reynolds, I can be sarcastic, and people think that I love them. I don't know how I started doing that, but I do that. I can insult you, and people seem to thank me for it. Weird. I don't use it often. I tried not to use sarcasm and insults very much anymore, but that's a skill that I tend to have. But if you're not conversational, you're not going to book appointments.
You want somebody with a little personality, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't want a drone who's just reading the script.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the worst. You know when they're reading the script, and when if you ask them a question that's not on the script, they're gonna have that look of panic.
yeah. Well, it's like if I'm sitting here in this and I'm like, conversational. Your appointment setter should be a conversationalist in the language that your leads primarily use. Most of the leads that we go after are American, so English is the most common language used. Well,
Are you ready for that appointment?
like, do you want to book an appointment with me now? It's like, no. But if I'm having conversation and I'm having fun doing this, like, that's what you want. People who love people. And the last is charming. And this goes a little bit with conversational. I get it. But the reason I separated it is because your appointment setter has 20 seconds, 20 seconds to make an impact. And so if you're looking for an appointment setter and you don't immediately like them in 20 seconds on the phone in the interview, chances are they won't make your clients feel immediately won't like them immediately in 20 seconds. That's just the way it is. And
That's a
so
lot of pressure right there. You need to be charming in 20 seconds. Good luck.
some people have it and some people don't. And it's not a
Yes.
skill that can be trained. That's a skill that they have to have. Um, and that's why that's one of the biggest things for this particular thing that I have to make sure that I say is not everyone's going to be a great appointment setter, but
Right.
you want people who can and then not everybody. Some people are charming in different ways. Like you've got Ryan Reynolds charming, who has that self-depreciating humor, but then you have other people like you've got Ryan Gosling charming, who just sits there and has a smoldering stare at you, and they're both charming in their own separate ways.
So you can be a little bit open-minded on the definition of charming, but the idea is to be able to endear the person that you're talking to,
Yeah,
pull them in some way that makes them go, oh, I like this person.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm charming in a certain way, but not to everybody. I just need to make sure that the person I'm choosing is charming to my clients.
Absolutely. So here's our 4 qualities that we were looking at for our appointment setter. All right, just kind of following along where we're at right now,
Yeah,
right? We've gone into a lot of detail. I hope.
yeah, but they have to be intuitive, they have to be understandable, they have to be conversational, and they have to be charming. Those are your 4 things you're looking for. All right? And they have to be competent and trustworthy and,
All the
all the basic
basics.
stuff. This is just the stuff that's specific to appointment setting that not everybody else needs to have. Like there are some people that I know that are great at the technical side and they're amazing and they're so good. They don't have these 4 qualities.
Right.
Does
You
that
wouldn't
mean
want
they're
them to be
bad?
setting your appointments.
Yeah, you don't want them setting your appointments, but you do want them building your software. All right, let's go to the next continuous coaching. So this is something that we at Legacy are sticklers for. Um, you need to know your coaching. Um, and one of the things sorry, I just saw a comment and I was just trying to figure out what the comment meant, but I'll just ignore it for now.
Ignore it.
And so one of the things that we need to do is we need to do continuous coaching. What we find is everybody needs to have some attention from their from the people above them. So if I'm doing your appointment setting, Christine, I need to have either weekly or bi-weekly meetings with you. The reason being is one, if we're going to do what we called A/B testing, which is testing one small thing at a time to see what works better. If we're going to do that, well, then we need to review it with each other and sit there and go, okay, I tested this, it works better, but I'm seeing these unintended consequences. Do we still want to work this out? But that's continuous coaching. And when you're actually building the script, you're building it not only for the client, but you're building it for the agent as well. And you're adjusting it so they know what they're talking about. So when people ask them questions, they need to have a coaching session where they can ask you questions. Someone asked me this and I didn't quite understand what they were talking about. Oh, great. I hired this person once from Nigeria and they don't have credit cards in Nigeria. And so when someone was talking about credit cards and talking about a posted transaction versus a pending transaction, she had no clue what they were talking about. So I actually, in a coaching session, had to walk her through, and I walked her through what a credit card is and how a credit card works. She was one of my best agents, but she had no clue what a credit card was. And I was like, okay, well, this is a step that I didn't know that was going to be a problem with her. And it turned out that, yeah, it wasn't a problem, but if I didn't have that continuous coaching, she never would have been able to figure that out.
Right. And so, like you mentioned, the A/B, what's better, what's working, what's not. And so you're constantly evolving the process. It's not a set it and forget it thing. Then no marketing, no appointments, and none of this is set it and forget it. You got to keep tweaking it just a little bit to get it exactly where you want it to be.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's not much I can say about coaching because it's all like everybody needs coaching differently.
Mhm.
And to sit there and go, in my first coaching, I coach about scripting. In my second coaching, I coach about tonality and body language and smiling. And it's just, you can't sit there and go, this is the things you need to coach on, because every appointment setter is different. Even if they're nice and charming, you're going to find that they need some help somewhere. And it's your job to actually make sure that they have that. All right. And that's what the coaching is. And so I just want to kind of show you the difference, what we found in appointment setting versus appointment setting 2.0. Cold calling, you get a 1% ratio. I already told you, like, that those 10, this is most likely what it's going to look like. And then with appointment setting 2.0, you're actually getting almost 15 times the amount of appointments. And I've seen it go higher, but I don't promise anything more than that. Because I'm a big fan of under promise, over deliver. And so what I do is I figure 15, one of our clients actually has, of the appointments that we've called, he has an 83.73% meetings booked on the leads he's given us. Um, and and but only 25% of those show up. All right. And
Okay.
that's the ratio for cold calling. That's the ratio for, so if you book 10 appointments and it's all digital, how many people are actually going to show up? If you book 10 appointments and it's only 25%, you're only going to get 2.5 appointments out of that. All right.
So
And
a lot of times I think business owners have really high expectations for the appointment setters. And then they're trying to look at the numbers, and really you have to start with a really large number, and then each phase more people drop out till you finally get that appointment. And just because you got that appointment, now you still have to close them. So then you
yeah,
have to look at your close rate, right? So
yeah,
there's a whole process. You can't just be like, I need to make 10 sales, I'm going to talk to 10 people.
yeah.
It
So
doesn't work that way.
chances are, I think I heard the sales statistic that out of every 10 people you talk to, one of them will buy, unless you're cold calling. um, and so, but what I found is our close rate using appointment setting 2.0 is actually was for the clients that we have done it, has sat in the 45 to 50% ratio.
So when you say close rate, you're referring to how many people actually book appointments.
No, I'm referring to how many people have bought from the people.
Oh, so they booked the appointment, they showed up for the appointment, and they bought?
Yes.
Ooh.
And so, and I'm not, and this isn't this, like, I can't promise that statistic, but that I've seen upwards of that on this
Mhm.
setting 2.0. And that's why I'm a big fan of this process. All right. Now, these are the price tags of cold calling versus appointment setting 2.0. So remember when I told you about the amount of people that are showing up for meetings is about 25%?
Mhm.
That means that when you're cold calling, it's costing you about $1,000 an appointment.
Ouch.
Yeah. And that's what it, whereas with appointment setting 2.0, one of the reasons why the price is so low is because you're actually using one appointment setter for two or three different people. So they're only really calling 20 up to 25 people a day. So it's so much less, but they're calling warm leads instead of cold leads, which brings which skyrockets the amount of appointments you get from those leads. And
Well,
so
so
you're
yeah, so
getting,
let's walk the business owner through the process right here. So you've got somebody that's calling and they're trying to make appointments, but if you only get 1% of them, you have to make a lot more phone calls, right? So that
yeah,
price cost
that's right.
per is going to be a lot higher,
So
right?
you
When you're
realize that
talking about
10 appointments, you're calling 1,000 people. So you're paying someone full time for a month to call those people. However, with setting 2.0, you're only calling the people that were on your website. So they know who you are. And now when they're stepping forward, it's like, oh, hey, I know these people already. I was thinking about working with them. And now they're offering me a free 15-minute consultation with Christine. Hmm. And so what you're doing is, and they're only doing 25 calls a day, which is about 3 to 4 hours of work. And so now you're literally have cut your pricing in half. And
makes
that's why
sense.
appointment setting is so much better. Is even if you got the same amount of appointments as you did in the original, you're paying half the price for them. Anyways, and so that's why I think this is the sole reason appointment setting is so much better. So,
Well, and
yeah,
I often get, we all get spam and our, technically it's somebody else promoting their business, but it feels like spam.
yep,
Right. And so they're always saying, I can do this. I can get this many appointments on your calendar. And I'm always like, I don't have time to sit there and do 100 appointments to narrow it down to who's going to be a client. I don't
yeah,
want to spend my whole day doing that. I don't have that kind of time.
yeah,
Now, an appointment setter that handles it for you, then you're just showing up for the people that want to be there.
yeah.
That seems a lot better.
And so with this strategy, I gave you everything that you need in order to make this work. And that's like, I don't like, you don't have to come with Legacy in order to make this work, because I've given you everything you need. We just have experience doing it already. And that's why I wanted to bring this forward, because there's so many people using appointment setters that don't know how to make it work.
Right. And we just assume that the appointment setter, well, they're an appointment center. They know what they're doing. Right.
Yeah,
And that's not always the case. Right. This gives us some questions to think about and to ask. And if you're going to interview an appointment setter, what kinds of things you want to look for. Right. Or a company that does it, what's their philosophy? Like you said, is it more appointment setting, hard sell, or is it more of a customer service and an extension of your brand? Right. There's a
yeah,
lot that goes into this that we may or may not be ready to navigate on our own. So it's nice to know that there's an expert that we can call and be like, hey, Joel,
yeah,
maybe I need you to give me a hand with this.
yeah, absolutely. Love. And so what I wanted to do is, I actually wanted to bring forward, because what we've done is we've given you this. However, I wanted to give something away. And I was sitting there with my business partner, and we were like, what could we possibly give away that would actually help people? And so what we did is we decided to give away a month of an appointment setter to one person.
Wow,
And
that's a
so,
nice.
yeah, and so basically what this means is that the grand prize would be getting someone for scripting, someone who would hire your appointment setter or have a great appointment setter, and the managing of the appointment setter for the month. Right? And that would be completely free. And then if you want to continue after that month, it's completely up to you.
Mhm.
And then it would, but it's like, but that's what it would be. And then the second prize would be, and we're giving, and the second prize would be $250 off an appointment setter for you and your company. And so I wanted to leave this QR code up for a minute or two,
Yeah. All
so that people can
right, I got my
screenshot
phone
it.
ready.
Yep, so that people can screenshot it. They can send it to whoever they want. I wanted to get it strictly for the people in this meeting, and the people who do the replay. However, if you screenshot it and send it to a friend that you know needs some help, we're happy to help them out. And so I wanted to leave this up there just so that you
I
guys
just
can
say,
just,
so tag a friend that needs a little help with appointment setting, needs a little help with lead gen, tag them right in the comment section, have them come back, check it out and watch this, and they can scan that and be part of it too, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And then what we'll do is, we randomly, I think we've given it a month for people to kind of to watch
Mm-hmm.
this presentation. And then from there, after that month, we will pick a winner, and then we will get moving, and we'll get to, I can't wait to see what this appointment who this goes to. I'm really excited about it.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So, and then lastly, if you guys want to reach out to me, um, that Outsell Insights app, I told you about it. If you go onto their website, it's $400 a month for that app. Um, we have a deal with them where it goes down to $200 a month. If you want to, can you scroll my LinkedIn again? Message
Yeah.
me, message me on LinkedIn, and say, hey, I'm interested in the Outsell Insights app, and I will send you the link that you can get it for half price. But see, even the dogs know this is a great deal. So, no, but just message me. I'm not. Yeah. So just message me, and I would love to actually help you out. This link here, this QR code here, is for consultation. If you want to have 30 minutes to discuss what appointment setting for you would look like, I would happily just sit down and talk to you for 30 minutes. So take the QR code, have some fun, and I'll answer any questions you have. You're muted. Okay.
You want me muted. I'm just saying. Brody's a little excited today. You know, the Golden Doodle has to be part of the show every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I know we have people in the
We do. I see Frank's back there. Let's just, pull down the slides if you're ready, and we'll bring, I think, Anna to the stage also. There's Anna. There's Frank. Hey, y'all. Welcome.
you guys are both muted, just so you know. So
When
if
you're
you can
ready, Nicholas.
unmute yourself.
So, Joel, I know what A/B testing is, and Christine does, but I'm not sure that everybody watching
Well, so we get a little
does. So
explanation,
could
but we
you-
might need some more detail. Anna had her hand open. Did you want to answer that, Anna?
just
No, I want to hear the answer.
Okay, there we go.
brief description of how it works.
So Frank, you're cutting in and out really badly. However, I still know I know what your question is. I can answer it. So A/B testing is a term I've only ever heard it in marketing. However, I'm sure it works everywhere else. Basically, what it is if you've got an advertisement and you're changing one thing on the advertisement to see what performs better. And so A/B testing is just changing one small thing to see if it increases performance. That's all. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Yes.
A, okay, we go with A. Oh, now we're going to test this. Okay, now which one's the right one? Okay, this one's the better answer, right? And you're just constantly trying to just tweak it down until you've got something that you really, really like.
Here's an example. So when I was doing email marketing for one of the companies, for actually the company that launched Legacy, when I was doing email marketing for them, I built this beautiful email and I was going to send it out, and I had an argument with my boss. Well, not an argument. We had a conversation, and my boss was like, "That's never going to convert anybody," and I'm like, this is a beautiful email. Everyone does emails like this. And so he gave me a 3-line email and said, A/B test these. It was the same text in both emails. However, he wanted to know which one worked and which one didn't. And he knew what was going to work, but he was willing to put it on the line and actually test it. And he tripled my conversion rate by simply using a text email versus using I thought it was a very beautifully done email. And so that's a good example of A/B testing. Do graphics actually work or not? And what we found out was graphics did not work, not for their clientele.
Right. And if you're laying it out so it looks like a fancy newsletter, it's like, but it looks so pretty. Yeah. But a lot of times, if you just get straight to the point with those 3 sentences, right? Like you said, maybe it's the opening, right, for your email. What's the title that shows up, the subject line, right? Yeah. And they'll do A/B testing for that. So you can do A/B testing for just about anything, right? The idea is that 2 different options. When you run ads, it'll say, A/B testing. Okay, right? Do you want to use this image in the front or this image, right? And so same thing with, you might have this script and you're like, and let's have a A and a B on the scripts, right? This one focuses a little bit more on this, and then you see what your conversion rate is. You're like, okay, this one's doing a lot better. All right, let's go here, right? Now, what do we need to test from there? Right. And it's every step of the way to kind of finally get that perfect temporarily, because there's no such thing as permanent perfect, right?
We found out that ugly web pages tend to do better than pretty ones. And that was something that shocked me.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
However, I couldn't justify, like, because it's my name on the web page, I had to keep our web page very nice looking. Like that wasn't something I'm like maybe I need to kick my pride and just pick out like oranges and pinks and blues or something and throw them all over my web page. But that's,
as a brand designer, I feel I need to say, do not look behind the curtain, ignore the curtain, do not listen. Because you just told everybody that my beautiful web designs are not as important. So ignore the man behind the curtain.
Ignore me. I'm not a brand design person. I'm a people person.
I was going to say that maybe an elegant website establishes a certain level of credibility, style, and prestige, and maybe they are afraid that they couldn't afford them. So depending on who your client base is, your website will either attract or detract depending on who your client is and who you're trying to draw in. So
I will go with what she said. Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of the design aspect. But anyways, the point is A/B testing is important. It's great.
I love it. What other burning questions did you guys? What was popping in your head while he was talking? Any questions that come to mind?
Well, I'm a small business boutique. It's just me right now.
Yeah.
So in my mind, this seems to be for bigger businesses. And so could you speak to who would really benefit from this in the terms of small business scale?
So with this, there is a prerequisite with this strategy to have some traffic on your website. I don't when I'm looking for traffic, I'm looking for clients for the appointment setting 2.0 that we do. I'm generally looking in the range of people with around 5,000 people visiting their website. Now, what we do with people such as you, Anna, what we do is we will connect you with someone like Nate, who is a great SEO expert and knows exactly what he's doing, and to the point where he builds blog posts with SEO in mind.
Mhm.
And so what he does is he increases traffic to the point where they can use this
Okay.
this project. There are other SEO experts. I just like one of the things I love about Nate is he's so good at what he does. All of his It seems like everybody that does work with him raves about his work. And so that's one of the reasons why I chose Nate as one of my people I wanted to work with, is because his
So
results speak for himself.
yeah, so step one, if you're not ready, you don't have that traffic going yet, that's okay. If you're a small business owner, you're still getting that traffic going, right?
Yeah.
We send you to somebody that adds the SEO, step one, and then come back and talk about now you also have to think about your price point, right? So depending on what you're selling, and sometimes new business owners, right, they're working on the revenue, how much they're going to spend. You want to make sure that you're going to make enough off of it that it was worth making the expense to start with, right?
Yes, if you're selling a $40 a month product, in order to make this work, you need to sell what, 300 of them. So that's probably, if it was a long term scenario, yes, that's probably a good thing. But if you don't have the money for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months of losing money, then this is not the strategy for you.
Right. You
So
want a little bit
I'm just
higher
straight up.
ticket item.
You have to be able to look at it. Like Christine is a coach. And I can't remember what your prices were, because I know that you had coached us a couple times, but um like if she's charging 5 grand per client, this would be a great option for her, because it's about 20, because she's paying for 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 leads a month. And so even with appointment setting, like you can do cold calling, but like Anna, what I'm comparing this to is cold calling.
Mhm.
You wouldn't do cold calling either. Where you're at right now, cold calling would not be, because it costs too much. And what I found with cold calling was that people were paying hundreds of dollars per lead, not even talking about how many per sale. They were probably paying thousands of dollars per sale. And I didn't like that. I thought that was it's, I think that it's not worth the money. And that's why I came up with this solution, is because I thought that it wasn't worth the money. And so this is a better priced option. I have a client that we're talking to right now, someone that's talking about having us do their appointment setting, and he doesn't want to he wants to pay someone full time, and we can do that. But with the appointments, if we're doing that, then he knows he's going to get a lot of appointments for it.
And you have to
So
have the systems in place in your business that you can handle that many appointments, and that you can, if you actually close those appointments, can you fulfill them, right?
yes.
So, right, that you got to look at how does this fit into your overall business model,
Yeah,
right?
because Anna, if I booked you 15 appointments a week, would you be able to handle that? No.
Not now.
And no, exactly. And that's something we need to look at, is I can't just book appointments for appointment's sake.
Mhm.
I want to book the right appointments for you, and I want to make sure that you have the capacity to actually handle it,
Awesome. Thank
because
you.
I don't want to take money for money's sake.
And I love that about you, Joel. You have a heart, right? You want to see people do well and succeed. And so that's one of the things that I love about the Giver Marketing Network is everybody's looking for what's best for the client, right? And we put our heads together and come up with that, and whatever that is. But we're all about, I think it's nice working with a group of ethical marketers.
Yeah.
Wanted to say I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Well, Joel, we've reached the top of the hour. That just flew by, didn't it? Lots of information, but thank you so much for sharing your wisdoms with us today. Once again, if anybody wants to reach out, we've got it, the chat. Go down to your links in there, connect with him on LinkedIn. We got all sorts of fun going on. We do this every Tuesday. This is our Tuesday marketing broadcast, same bat channel, right? Have some fun with us. Come play with us. Also, before we forget, tomorrow is the networking for marketers. So if you're a marketer and you have more questions, maybe we can get Joel to even slide in and say hi. You never know, could happen. All right, never know who's going to be there, but it's a great group of marketers. Come hang out. Don't be a lonelypreneur. Come hang out with us. So that is on Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern. Register once, save the link. That's givermarketing.com/networking and come play with us. Thanks, y'all, for coming, having a good time with us.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Awesome.